Hey, my friend from Everyday Cyclist. My name is Graeme Street. I'm the owner for Cyclo Club and the creator for cyclo-core training. And today I'm going to help you understand how to peak, to be at your maximum fitness and maximum recovery for your upcoming goal ride, whether it be a century, a race, a mountain bike epic, or all of the above. The process of getting your body, your brain, stronger and at its best so you can perform at your best for your important rides is not an easy thing to do. I've been doing this a long time, and I've helped tens of thousands of you around the world, and it is a process, one that does require some discipline and some know-how. And there's some key mistakes that we everyday cyclists make in trying to get stronger for our goal rides. And I have made every mistake times 10 on the planet, and I've learned some things along the way, things you can't learn in books, things you can't learn from going out and getting a degree in this. You have to live it, you have to breathe it, you have to make the mistakes for yourself and work with others and learn these mistakes. I'm going to share them with you right now. You want to know what they are? Because if you can overcome even just one of these key issues, I promise you have a greater likelihood of getting to your upcoming century, race, mountain bike event at your very best. Number one, if you want to get to your maximum potential on a bicycle, no matter what the event is, it comes down, like 90% comes down to how strong your base foundational fitness is. I know that none of us want to hear that. We want to hear that there's like a magic pill to take, that we can accelerate our fitness in 2 weeks and presto, we're at our absolute zenith. Now, we can do things in our training and our nutrition to get us stronger and faster quicker, but that doesn't mean we're going to be at our zenith, our maximum potential, our maximum ability to perform with the time frame given. Step one is to make sure that you've got that foundational base. Now, for many of you, coming into springtime, it's easy to just kind of head back out on your bike and kind of go back to the same old routine. Well, I'm going to start riding more often. Frequency goes up. Volume tends to go up. These things are good, but they don't necessarily make your body work towards getting stronger. There's some other things we need to focus on to get that done, mainly your foundational functional strength. This is how strong your body is regardless of the bicycle. And again, I know many of you don't want to hear that. You want to think that everything is going to be about the bike, and absolutely we're going to be using the bike a lot more, but we want to make sure that foundational strength, your functional ability for your body, is as strong as it can be before we begin to tack on higher intensity, higher performance-driven workouts. For us, we use my CYCLO90 base program. So any of you that are asking me email questions or sending me questions via Facebook for which program should I begin with, no matter what time of year, what goal you have, you're always better off having a strong base now that's going to perpetuate more fitness later. We typically see 10 to 15% gains in functional fitness and threshold performance just with our base program. So no matter where you are in your training right now, if you're behind, you need to lose weight, you need to gain strength, always start foundationally. And we recommend the CYCLO90 base program to do that. Now, once that base is complete, the remaining 10%, which doesn't sound like a lot, comes from our in-season training, our focused training. And this is really mistake number two, or area number two, where you can begin to see immediate improvements. What I tend to see for a lot of you is you finish up your base, whether it's with my program or someone else's, you've put in the miles, you've put in the core training, you've put in the flexibility work, you're stronger. Okay, now we're within kind of striking distance of a goal, and you tend to make a mistake on aligning your training with that goal. And what we really want to do is isolate or specify what type of training will elicit a better response for my goal. This is the kind of the build block, if you will. This is a very important part of our training, and for many of you, you tend to hold that build block either too long or you don't specify well enough what you want to gain. So if you're an endurance rider looking to build endurance, your base is complete. We want to begin to add on, obviously, more endurance level miles. But these miles can't just be volume. We have to add in the appropriate intensity to elicit a physiological result from your body as well. And this is where a lot of you tend to make simple mistakes. If you're trying to hold on to your build phases, whether it's for endurance, climbing, race performance, or all of the above, for longer than, say, 6 weeks, you're running that process too long. Typically, we're going to need some kind of smaller blocking, typically 3 to 4 weeks of building to get your body stronger in a specific capacity. So when I talk to a lot of you on the phone, I've spoken with many of you personally, and I ask you, what do you want to improve? You'll say, well, I want to improve my climbing, I want to lose weight, I want to go faster, I want to go longer, I want to do better at group rides, I want to do a couple mountain bike races, I want to do a couple road races. I'm like, whoa. That's a lot of stuff. And I'm all for you, trying lots of different things. But you're going to get a better result. Listen to me. A better result when you focus on one or two key components in a 3 to 5 week cycle, a 3 to 5 week rotation of training that prioritizes that needs. And many of you don't do that. And that's why you see kind of these muddled, plateaued-like results. You want to get better at climbing? We need to specify the types of workouts specifically over a 3 to 4 week process to get you better at climbing. The next thing, tapering in for the event. This is the tough one. Many of you tend to make the mistake of adding more volume and even adding some more intensity during your build cycles. Then as you get closer and closer to your event, you start to get antsy, start to get nervous. Do I have enough? Could one workout make that much more of a difference? Should I go out for a 60-mile ride this Tuesday with a big monster century coming up this Saturday? These are the types of mistakes that can basically shut down all of the other work that you've done, even if you've done it well. If you make a mistake within that last typically 4 to 7 days prior to a big event, you could be stealing performance from yourself that would have been available had you gotten out of the way with proper recovery and, more importantly, tapering. What does tapering mean? It means the ability for you to drop your training volume, which should be during your build phase. Your volume should be much higher and your intensity should be higher, okay? So we're building these things up through a 3 to 4 week process, all right? Now, once we get into our taper phase prior to the event, we need to drop volume off a cliff. Volume needs to go zoop, and intensity needs to stay relatively high. If not, for some of you, depending on what your goal is, needs to actually go up. That sounds kind of odd. Why would intensity go up but volume drop off? That means we need to shorten our workouts and intensify the output. Zone 5 efforts, Zone 6 efforts, depending on your goal, could be even up to Zone 7 efforts for those of you who are doing road races or XC races, okay? And those of you that are adding too much volume and too much intensity close to the end, then you get to the goal and you're like, I was so strong a week ago. I was so strong 2 weeks ago. Where is that person? Well, that person's still there, but you didn't allow for maximum recovery to keep that engine running hot and to recuperate the fatigue that you've gone through. So if you're one of these individuals that does really well for your base training, you do really well with building up your miles, you feel like you should be stronger and more fit, but you're getting to your events, whatever kind of event it is, and you're feeling off, or man, I should have performed better, but what happened? More than likely, you made a mistake either during the base phase, you didn't have enough quality base behind you, or you didn't allow for enough recovery and tapering to allow your body to hit maximum performance and maximum recovery. So some of you are going to come in with lots of performance, but very little recovery. You're not going to have a good performance. If you come with lots of recovery, but your engine's going to kind of idle down for too long because you haven't kept the intensity high enough, you're probably not going to have a good performance either. They need to be matched. Maximum performance, maximum recovery for a maximum goal. Is that making sense to you? Now look, the easiest way to deal with this, and this is where I'm going to plug myself, and I have no problem doing this, is having a training system that helps you prioritize which type of training you should be doing and when. All right. Typically, I build these in 3 to 4 week blocks. 3 weeks of building, 1 week of recovery and or taper, depending if you have an event after that 4 weeks, and then moving you to another block. Climbing blocks, racing blocks, endurance blocks, climbing mountain bike blocks, endurance road bike blocks. Are you following me? The more specific and the more chunked it is, the better the results you're going to get. I've created this for you with my CYCLO90 in-season system. This comes after the base is complete, or at least halfway. If you are starting base now, get me at least 4 to 6 weeks of the base done first. Then move to in-season. You're going to see a huge jump in performance, and you're going to do it in a specific way where you say, hey, I want to become a better climber. Great. Move into the climbing plans, get specific, let me run you through the drills, the workouts, the in-ride techniques. I mean, the workouts are tough, and they're not all inside. There's only a couple workouts per week for the in-season that's inside. The rest of it's outside on the bike. But I've got things for you to do out there. They're going to totally change how you ride, and more importantly, it's going to layer that fitness for you. So when you come in towards that century, come in towards that race, you'll have specifically what you need. Now, whether you choose to use my programs or not, go back and listen to what I've just said in this video again. Those 4 things are going to help you really make some headway. Make sure your base is strong. Regardless of time of year, get your base as strong as possible. It's 90% of your success for reaching maximum potential. 90%. The remaining 10% is get specific. What do you want? Be specific in your training. Make small chunks of time in your training that's specific to get that done. Many of you don't know how to do that. That's where I come in. That's where the CYCLO90 in-season or base programs help you organize that material. Third thing, don't try to hold on to your build and peak for too long. If you're sitting there doing an 8 or 10 week build block, that's just too long. You've got to take some recovery in there. If you're not doing that, if you're not cycling your training every 3 to 4 weeks, as intensity gets harder, you're going to pop. You're going to lose all that you've gained. I promise you, I've been there. I've done this 1,000 times. I've seen it happen again and again. Try to hold on to those build blocks for smaller cycles. Allow for recovery every 3rd to 4th week. You'll see a big change. Last thing is make sure you maximize that tapering before the event. You do that, I promise you, you're going to get to your next event. And you're not just going to be a little bit better. You're going to be 10, 20, 30% better than you ever were prior to doing it. And it's only because you've gotten more discipline on how to organize material. My friend, I hope this is helpful. Please share it with friends, your writing club, writing friends. Like me on my YouTube page or subscribe. I'm doing videos all the time. And of course, if you are already done CYCLO90 base or not, you can get CYCLO90 base below, and you can also get my CYCLO90 in-season, which I have on special. 6 free training plans, 3 for road and 3 for mountain bike. Any goal, I guarantee you'll see an improvement. I'll talk to you soon.